All right, Dave McLean on the Fisch Bowl.
Yeah, nice to be on it, mate. Not in it, but on it.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me.
Lovely. Nothing like a good dip in the morning or of an evening. It's 5 o'clock here now.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I am a huge fan of like everything you've done. I was born in 88, so I grew up in the 90s with the whole, grunge scene.
All right, great. That was a heady times indeed.
I have like a bunch of questions to ask you. Some about your new film, and others really about your experiences in the 90s with bands like Nirvana, Mudvayne, Pearl Jam.
Yeah, fire away.
Green,
No
Green
problem.
Day.
Yeah.
My first question for you though is what got you interested in music, and I guess what led the film.
Well, the only thing that got me interested in music was the fact that I broke my leg playing football, right? It's like it says in the film. And I thought, right, okay. I fancied this girl at the College of Commerce in Dundee, and I couldn't pluck up courage to talk to her. And my mate said, we need new football strips for the football team. Let's put on a disco. I says, how's that going to help me chat to this girl? He says, you can go and sell her a ticket. I said, that's a good idea. It's a good intro line. So we got the tickets printed. I went across and I said, girls, do you want to buy some tickets? She said, no. But I said, well, it's okay. Here's 6 anyway. So I went back to see my mate. And he said, how did you go? And I said, great. They're all coming. 6 of them. He went, fantastic. That's 6 times £3, £18. I went, no, they're all on the guest list. So anyhow, we got into doing discos, and we used to make £1,000 every 2 weeks, which was loads of money back in 1976. It was ridiculous, right? £1,000. And we'd pay the DJ £50. But then we thought, this is boring. So then we started paying bands £1,000 and making nothing, but it looked good. It was good for the ego, doing Ultravox, Simple Minds, stuff like that. So that's how I got into it. And I just started promoting bands. But like doing the DJ was a great business model because it was 50 quid, make a grand. But doing the bands, pay them a grand and make nothing. But it looked good, Made you look cool. That's how it started.
Awesome.
You won't find that in any promoter's handbook, I'll tell you that.
Now, when I was growing up, Nirvana was like my go-to grunge band. And as I got older and experienced the genre more, the plethora of music that came out during that era, I'd say my top favorite grunge bands would be probably split between Alice in Chains and Soundgarden.
All right, okay.
But I'm also, I have to say, Rage Against the Machine is probably in like my top 5 favorite bands of all time.
Well, I've done a few of your favorite bands then, because we did Soundgarden about 10 times. We only did Alice in Chains once. That was at Camden Underworld, but it was great. It was a brilliant gig because the guy was mesmerised. What was his name? Lane Staley. Yeah. He just stood there like, he didn't move around much, but he just had that hypnotic. Do you know what I mean? It just like was, wow, what is this guy all about? This is like awesome, And it was when he had that track, was it Dirt and all that sort of stuff, really kind of sleazy, sexy, grungy, kind of, brilliant music. And then obviously we did Nirvana loads of times, about 15, 16 times. So yeah, and Rage Against the Machine as well, we did them. They were brilliant. So it was just exciting, I didn't think you get excitement like that these days, I'm sure you don't. In fact, I know you don't. I mean, I kind of think any bands are like that.
Well, it's very interesting. Like on my show, I interview bands, and I kind of have been really diving into the psychedelic rock genre. And I actually am in with a label from Portland, Oregon called Little Cloud Records, and they do a lot of the like shoegaze and psychedelic rock. That's a lot of it is in the UK.
Yeah, we we used to do loads of bands like Spiritualized. I don't know if you know Spiritualized, Dark Side.
Yeah.
There was a band called Telescopes, Snow Dive, all that, Catherine Wheel, all that stuff. We used to do. I think our main thing was the grunge, but then we we did a lot of other bands like Spiritualized were really brilliant as well. Spacemen 3, all that stuff, It's really good. And there's a brilliant band called Loop. I don't know if you've heard of a band called Loop, Loop from London. They were amazing. So there's been some good stuff.
Well, my question for you, this is for my listeners as well. For someone that is like just starting out and really wants to get into band promotion, because that's one of the things I really want to do on my podcast and kind of lead to like booking bands that like I really think, that are on the rise and maybe don't have like, the best outlet for their music yet, and they're not like huge superstar bands yet, but I could see them kind of like with the right listenership and venues that they could get to that point. What advice would you have for someone that wants to get into that sort of thing?
Well, it's very difficult. I mean, you kind of learn it from a manual. Number one, you need to get yourself a good local venue, right? And you need to get in with some agents who can give you some good bands. Well, but then again, where do you find the good bands? You used to listen to it on the radio, stuff like that. You used to look at the press. You used to look for little reviews. But now it's all that social media stuff, and a lot of that's really misleading. You can get. I used to only put bands on that I really liked. Just followed my instincts. I mean, I was offered loads of big acts that were huge that I just didn't like, so I wouldn't have promoted them. So if you see a band or hear a band that you think are really, really good, then you just got to try and promote that band and develop that band and build them up. It has to be all about you liking them. Excuse me, I can't see you anymore. Can you get your face back up? Because I kind of prefer talking to...
Oh, the video went off. Here we go.
So that's good. You're back. So basically, you've got to have a venue, right? Preferably not too big when you start, like sort of 200 or 300 sort of capacity place. See a band you like, and if they're great live and you really love them and you think they're fantastic, hopefully people come and see them, and you just build it from there. But there's a lot of downside as well, because there's bands that you could think are fantastic that didn't pull anybody, and you think, well, they're really good, and you keep banging away with them, and you think, well, it's a waste of time. But it's never really happened to me that much like that. But I mean, it could do. So go with your instincts, right, and only promote what you like. That's what I'd say, because then you got more passion for it,
Right. There's a new genre of music that I was wondering if you were aware of. It's called new wave grunge.
No, like what bands are in that genre?
I've actually interviewed a couple of them, and it's like a brand new genre that is like on the rise, because there was grunge and then there was post grunge, and post grunge, in my opinion, wasn't that great, because it was the record companies trying to capitalize.
Oh, right.
On the 90s sound, and it just
to manufacture a band, it's just a waste of time when you do that. Yeah.
Exactly. And this new genre called new wave grunge is like really, really good. It's bands that I want to say, are in their late 20s, early 30s. And they've basically taken the best sounds from the bands of the original grunge era in the 90s.
You got any examples? You got any examples of the bands?
Yeah.
Your camera's gone off again. Your camera's gone off again.
Trying to get it back here. There we go. I interviewed a band. They're actually from Ireland. And they're called Strangers with Guns.
I think I've heard of them for some reason. Yeah, I actually think I've heard of them. Yeah, maybe my daughter's into them. She's 15. We live in Thailand, but she's always turning me on to new bands, and I'm sure she's mentioned them.
They are really, really good. They have a very like kind of like a mixture of like Alice in Chains and the Melvins. Kind of sound, and a little bit of like anarchist, like Rage Against the Machine.
They sound good. I mean, I've definitely heard of them. My daughter's definitely mentioned them, 100%. That's a good tip then.
Yeah, Yeah, they
I
are
need, I need to
excellent.
keep my eye on them then for my promotions. Put my
Yeah.
promotions hat on. I'll give them a listen later. As soon as we're off, I'm gonna sort of get that up on YouTube.
Awesome.
No, I am seriously.
If you get in touch with them, tell them that, Sam Fish, the Fish Bowl, recommended.
Well, I will definitely get in touch with them, because the more I think about it, my daughter definitely mentioned them, and she showed me something, and I thought, oh, they're really good. She did that with Billie Eilish about 5 years ago. She said to me, Dad, there's this girl called Billie Eilish. I said, never heard of her. She's going to be big. That was 5 years ago. And I said, anyway, 5 years later, it's like $2 million a gig or something.
Yeah. I'm trying to
I should listen more.
I also interviewed recently another band. They're from they're originally from Glasgow.
And, Glasgow, right? Okay. What are they called?
They're called Geography of the Moon.
No, I've definitely never heard of them. No.
They have one album out and 2 EPs, and they just released their second EP, and they're like a little more psychedelic with like a fusion of like the Pixies and the Breeders.
Okay, right. Oh, that's a bit of 4AD that used to be on the Breeders, I think I remember that. But well, that sounds good. A few good tips there then. Yeah, Geography of the Moon. Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just listened to a new band. It looks like they're from the UK as well. They're called Daisy Brain.
No, I don't know them. No.
The guy sounds like Weezer.
Oh, right. Well, I used to promote all the Weezer shows. Yeah, they were good. Weezer. It's still going great. Weezer still going.
Yeah.
Still making really good money. But Buddy Holly,
right.
Oh yeah, was it? They're good lads. We toured with them actually. Placebo toured with them in America. Yeah, remember that years ago. Nice lads. Very clever, if I remember correctly. I think the singer's some sort of. He's a very intelligent guy. I'm sure he's a professor of sorts. I'm not sure, but anyway.
I was wondering, actually, on the topic of Placebo, how did that come to be?
Oh, a guy came into the office one day who was in a band that we did a band called PJ Harvey, and he was in the support band called Soup, the magnificently named Soup, SOUP. Anyway, so it came into his possession, this demo tape of this band called Placebo. And because at the time we were doing all Nirvana, Pumpkins, Rage, all these cool bands and everything like that, he really liked them and he thought they needed management. So he brought this tape in. And on the tape, there were 6 tracks, and 5 of the tracks went on to be top 20 singles or top 30 singles. So it was a pretty good demo tape. And we just met them over a period of about 6 months. And Brian kept on saying to me that he had a manager. Oh, we've got a manager, Dave. Oh, that's a pity, it doesn't matter. Well, we'll just promote you then. But then after 6 months, he admitted they never had a manager. He was just making that up. And he was sussing us out. So eventually we signed him to management. And that was like 27 years ago. And then last week, their album came out, went number 1 in 10 countries, top 10 in about 20 countries, and selling out arenas. The arena tours are going great. So that's how it all started. It's still going. I call it Placebo, the gift that keeps giving. That's what I call it.
Awesome. I am a huge Placebo fan. Pretty much everything from the 90s I'm just like really into.
Oh, that's good. Well, the new albums, the new album's awesome. I mean, the reviews, the sales. I went to see them live in Berlin last week and in London, and I could tell you the upped their game on the live side, which is pretty like impossible because they've always been good live, but now they're even better. So yeah, we're looking good. But the 90s was a good period, and there's a lot of good stuff there.
What was the Smashing Pumpkins like?
We did loads of shows with them, about 20 shows. I got on great with our manager, Andy Gershon. He was a great guy. Well, to be fair, three out of the 4 of them were very chatty. Jimmy, Darcy, what was the other guy called? The Oriental boy, sorry, I forgot his name. James. There was James, Jimmy, Darcy, and Billy. Billy was kind of quieter, like wasn't as sociable as the rest of them. But I mean, they were great to promote. They did great business, fantastic. Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, all the American bands we had were all very polite. I know it sounds a bit not very rock and roll, but they were all amazingly polite when they came over and fascinated. You know, like Nirvana were really funny, never been out of America. And they would come and they would land and, oh, excited. What's that big building? What's that there? What's that drink you're drinking? And I'd say to Kurt, Lucasade. What's that, man? I says, Lucasade. Can I have a blast of that? Oh, this is great. We don't get this in America. You know, really stupid little things like that. I used to love that, you know. They were all very excited about seeing this new country. All of them, Green Day and all that as well. Like, great. Because that was years ago before people travelled a lot. I mean, and they were just young bands at that time, you know, starting out. It's all a big adventure. You know?
Right. My biggest question, I guess, I'm curious about is, what was Kurt Cobain like?
Kurt Cobain was like, probably, you know how people say Dave Grohl was the nicest guy in rock, right? Because he's always funny and he's up and he's great. I mean, he is lovely, right? He's a funny guy. Kurt was even funnier in my opinion. He had a different humor. He was like very I don't know. You know, he was a master of the one-liners, like, you know, like really good one-liners and funny and not sarcastic, but really clever comments, like really clever. And he was lovely, absolutely lovely guy. All the gigs we did, he would always arrive really early and go out and look at the queue, and there'd be loads of people in the line, you'd call it the line, right? Sleeping bags and that, they'd been there all night, and then he'd come up and say, Dave, got some names for the guest list. I said, many, he'd go like 86 or something. He just put people on it, never had any tickets, you know. And he was great. I mean, I remember the last time I met him, we'd done these special end of tour t-shirts, and it had Nirvana down one side, Nevermind down the other side, and it had Riverman across this bit here. So it was our company and the album and the name of the band. And there were these long sleeve shirts, they were really good. And at the after show, they were all wearing them. And he came up and just gave me a big, kind of weird, dazzlingly blue eyes, like, you know, a great smile. Gave me a big hug, and he says, hey man, thanks for the tour. It was great. It was brilliant. Awesome. And, you know, just nice and genuinely nice guy. That's all I could say about him, really. You know, couldn't get anybody nicer, really, you know. I mean, they were all great. Dave, Chris, Kurt, you know. Yeah, happy days, very happy days, you know.
Very cool.
We used to go on the tour bus, and Kurt loved ABBA. I don't know if you know he loved ABBA, you know. And we'd go on the tour bus and we'd be driving from, say, Nottingham to Birmingham or whatever it was, like, you know. And he'd say, stick on some ABBA, and it'd be Dancing Queen, you're only 17. He'd be singing away like that, you know. And he actually wanted, when we were going to do Milton Keynes, which was a 80,000 capacity place, the bill was going to be Nirvana, Bjork, and Bjorn again, which was an ABBA tribute band. That would have been such a fantastic day, but obviously it never happened. But so anyway, that's what he was like.
Very cool.
Yeah, nice guy.
I've had a chance to see almost all of the major 90s bands. Of course, you know, not when I was younger, but as in my, you know, 20s, and I'm now in my early 30s. But I've seen the Foo Fighters. Oh, my camera went out again.
That's okay. Yeah, you seen the Foo Fighters. Well, we did the first ever show of the Foo Fighters in London at King's College. There was only 500 people. It was just a little tester to see how it would go. And if you told me the Foo Fighters would be doing stadiums still, I would have been amazed, because it just went ballistic. It went crazy, like, you know, it was amazing. So, but they're good. I mean, they just won 3 Grammys last week, I think. So it's a shame about Taylor. He was a good lad. Yeah. But, you know, sad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people we've worked with that, you know, the boy in Soundgarden, Chris Cornell, boy in Alice in Chains, you know, playing. We did Blind Melon, the singer. I think he died ages ago. I mean, there's just a lot of casualties, like, you know, Linkin Park. Although we never promoted Linkin Park, but we toured with them, you know.
I often thought of the 90s era was very similar to the plethora of music that was in the, like, I guess what's now the classic rock era, you know, with bands like the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and
Cream and all that, like, really, really exciting stuff. Like, you know, it kind of got a bit boring now, the stuff that's around now. But during that period, I mean, you could sort of compare bands like Nirvana and Alice in Chains to like Led Zeppelin or something, like sort of behavior, real rock and roll, like it was real, like you knew what they were about. You know what I mean?
I always kind of compared Pearl Jam to Neil Young.
Yeah, that's a good comparison, actually. Yeah.
And I mean, especially with the album cover for Vitology, it's basically like almost mimicking Harvest.
Yeah. Well, we only promoted Pearl Jam twice, actually, because the agent for Pearl Jam, Rod McSwain, who's now the agent for Placebo, was the agent for Led Zeppelin and Robert Plant and Kiss and Fleetwood Mac and Guns N' Roses and Christina Aguilera, everybody, like Fleet and everybody. So he was actually an agent and I was a promoter, and we promoted the first two Pearl Jam shows. And then after the second one, which sold out, I said, "That's great. We can move them up to Brixton Academy now." Rod, he goes, "Nah, you won't be doing it." I says, "Why?" He says, "I'll be doing it." I said, "But you're a promoter." I said, "You're an agent. You can't be a promoter." He says, "I can do what I like." I says, "What's the excuse then that I'm not getting them?" He said, "Let me think. Oh, I'll tell you. The champagne wasn't cold enough." and I made a vow there that if I ever managed a band, I would get Rod McSwain to be our agent, right? So he's still our agent. He's a great guy. It's brilliant, like, So that was it. We only did two shows with him. But I always preferred Nirvana and Soundgarden, to be honest with you. But I mean, they've done great. And what's his name? The singer, Eddie, still does amazing business, like, In fact, Pearl Jam still play, don't they? Do they still play?
Yeah, they're still together.
They do. They do huge stuff, like, So yeah, can't argue with that,
I just saw on Facebook I follow like a lot of music sites, and I saw that the bassist from Nirvana and the guitarist from Soundgarden just formed like pretty much like a 90s grunge super band called I think they were called Third Secret, and they just released their first album. And I was listening to a little bit of it before actually we're on the interview now. And it's very, very good. It's like very remnant of the whole grunge era and still very full of that original sound.
Yeah, but sometimes when you get these bands mixed together, was there no two Rage Against the Machine and two Soundgarden started the band? What was
Audio
it called?
Slave.
Yeah, I mean that didn't do much, like, to be honest with you. I mean, it sounded good in theory, but never really worked.
Right.
So this is somebody from Soundgarden, somebody from what else? Nirvana, you said?
Nirvana, the bassist from Nirvana.
The bassist, that Chris Novoselic?
Yeah.
He's back in a band?
Yeah.
Because Chris has never done anything for years. He's kind of been more...
I know.
Like, very, very low-key, like. That's interesting.
Yeah. The band that they're in is called Third Secret.
All right, when did that start then?
They just released their first album.
Is it any good? Is it good?
Yeah, it's really good.
So who's the singer then? If Chris is the bassist, and
I forget who. It's a female vocalist.
All right, okay, cool.
I forget. I read the article super quick, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like these guys are in like a band together. This is at least worth checking out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I never thought Chris would really. He's kind of into politics. He's very kind of intellectual, and he sort of gave the music business a swerve, like, for a while, as far as I could see, anyhow. Because we did a documentary about Nirvana about 6 months ago. I remember seeing Chris getting interviewed in that same documentary, and he never really talked much about what he was doing music-wise.
I know that's why it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. And when I'm like, well, Nirvana, Soundgarden.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, check it out. I'll give it
what more do you want?
Yeah. Well, depends who's on the vocals, like the girl. I mean, who is it? I mean, if it's any sort of name like I don't know, Courtney Love or someone, would be off to the races. That'd be a super group. Can't see that happening, though, to be fair. Your camera's gone off again.
I know. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
That's okay. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah. So let's talk about Riverman booking. Now, you mentioned a little bit how that started. I was wondering what's going on with that now, and who are some of the bands that are on your label?
Well, we've got a record label publishing. We promote concerts and we're management. So we've got quite a few things, and we make films. So we've got a few things going on. But the bands that we manage, we've got an Irish band called Dave McLean, who are three Irish girls, 17, 19 and 20. And they were sort of buskers at Belfast. And Robert Plant from, Led Zeppelin saw them. And the guy for the Eagles, I can't remember his name, Glenn Fry or something. And another big short guy saw them, and they started following them on Facebook and stuff like that. So they got millions and millions of views. So we signed them up for management. They're brilliant, and they've toured. They're going to be doing a tour with Eagles of Death Metal, so that's nice. And I got this kid in Australia, this Filipino Australian called Rin Rin. She's only 20. She's like Avril Lavigne meets Metallica. She's like fantastic. And I've got a Thai German rapper called Alyssa Janine who's working with Placebo. So that's good. So yeah, that's my new ones. And then I've got Placebo still ticking over. So yeah, and then I've got the films. So I didn't want to spread myself too thin, so
Awesome. Well, I will have to check all those bands out.
Yeah, please.
And I was wondering, I know we follow each other on Instagram, but I would love to network with you.
Oh, definitely. Well, I'd really like to. Oh, by the way, I do another band called the La Fontaines, who are from Glasgow, who are like they're unbelievable. They're like a hip hop rap. They're just superb. La Fontaines, check them out. They're one of the best live acts on the planet. But yeah, let's network. Let's keep talking and let's keep exchanging ideas. That'd be great.
That would be wonderful.
Top man, I'm in for that. No problem.
I'm all about doing music promotion.
That's fantastic, man. You've got to have enthusiasm. You've got some good ideas.
Thank you. And to learn from you would,
no problem.
Would be like an amazing experience.
Well, you're welcome. Anytime you want to network or chit chat, I'm your man. Okay.
Awesome. Let's talk about Schemers.
Mm-hmm.
I had a chance to check out the film, and I loved it.
Oh, cheers, man.
It was basically based on your life story.
No, it was based on 6 weeks of my life.
almost there.
just the Iron Maiden gig and the lead up to it and all that, So it was just a mere snapshot of the hilarious life that I have led. Been so lucky to experience.
Awesome. Well, I was a huge fan of the film.
Spread the love.
Definitely. I was wondering, what was your, I guess, inspirations to make the film, and what was all involved with it?
Well, my business partner, Alex Weston, she's a lot younger than me. She was always saying, Dave, you should write a book. I said, it's too hard to write a book. I'll tell you what, I'll just make a film. I'll write a script and I'll make a film, because if you make a film, you could get a good DOP, director of photography, make it look great, right? You could get a great soundtrack, so it could sound great. It could sound great, look great. Even if the script's absolute rubbish, at least people will look at it and say it looks great and it sounds great. But if you do a half-decent script, you've got a half-decent film. So I did the script in 10 days, and the band weren't doing anything, Placebo. So I thought, I'll just write a film. So that's what we did. And we got the money together from a couple of my mates in Dundee, my business partner Alex, my doctor Jonathan, and my accountant, and that was it. And we did it. But it wasn't as easy as that, but there was a few hiccups along the way. But it inspired me so much that I'm going to do the follow-up, which will please you, because it's set in London, 1989 to 1994, and it covers the period you're talking about. And it's about me and my friend, a guy called Scott Young. You could Google him, and he's in the first film, Scott. But he died in mysterious circumstances about 7 years ago. Fell out of a window in Belgravia onto railings. But if you Google his name in, you'll see he's known as the £400 million man. And you'll see it's about me and him sharing a house. He goes his way and I go my way. And they're separate ways that end separately.
Interesting.
As classmate, it's going to be a much talked about movie for sure, with a killer soundtrack, as you could imagine.
Yeah, very cool.
So that's
very
good.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to
I
that.
actually went to school here in Pittsburgh for screenwriting,
All
and
right.
I'm doing really well in screenwriting competitions,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm now in the process of trying to venture out to make some my own kind of like short films. And
Well, you're really young. Well, you're young. You've got loads of time. It's like it's great. I mean, if you've got the ideas and the skills to put it all into the final draft format and all that, and you get finance to make a little short film, 15, 20 minutes or something. Because I started doing documentaries. I did four documentaries. Then I'm now into the feature film thing. But there's nothing better. Well, there's nothing better than getting your senior stuff up on a big screen and people giving it a standing ovation or something like that. I mean, it could go the other way. So you've got it up on the big screen and people are going, fucking hell, what is that? This is a load of crap. And people are leaving, you know what I mean? And there's nobody left at the end. And you're thinking, Jesus, what happened there? So, you know, it's that was the most nerve-wracking night of my life at the premiere in Edinburgh. 300 people. It was the quickest selling ticket for the movies. And when everybody stood up at the end, I thought, Jesus, this is unbelievable. I felt great, you know. Anyway, that was that. So stick at it, you know, because you're so young, like you've got ages to go, like, you know.
Thank you. I definitely will. I wanted to share with you that you know, when with my style of writing, I am often thinking about music, and I try to incorporate. I mean, of course, you know, it's all up to a whole different department that chooses the music and everything, but I'm always thinking of music to film.
Exactly,
And
yeah. That's what I do. I mean, you write a scene, and when you're writing that scene, you think, you know what would be great there? The Cure or something, or you know, Alice in Chains or something like that, or Led Zeppelin if you could afford, like you know, Kashmir or something like that. You think this would be great, and you can see it in your head, like, you know, oh, that's going to be awesome, like, you know. Yeah, it's great, and there's nothing better when it actually comes together and you see it on the screen. You go, oh, I did that. I wrote the words, got the music, and you know, I got the guy to do the photography. Wow, that's nice. I like that, you know. And you feel you've done something at least, you know. So
definitely.
I've definitely got the bug for it. A bit late in life to get the bug for it, but I've got the bug for it now.
Awesome. I recently wrote a short, and the working title for it is Space Rockers.
I like that. Space Rockers, yeah, that's good.
And
Space Rockers are good. Not space hoppers, but space rockers, like that.
And the premise for the script is that it's about an intergalactic alien musician warrior who comes to Earth and transforms a wannabe deathcore metal band into his minions and conquers the world with rock.
That's great, actually. There's actually, I've got another interview I've got to do in about a minute, but send me an email, because we're on email and we're on Instagram and that, right? But that sounds good. I'd recommend a book called The Second Coming, John Niven, which is, if you read the synopsis for that, it's quite interesting, right? But it's not a million miles from what you're saying, but it's very, very funny. But listen, Sam, I've got another interview with some guy in Milwaukee. So is that okay to wrap this up now? And
yeah, I have two closer questions for you.
Okay.
And then we can wrap it up real quick. My closer questions for you are: what are some of your favorite bands and some of your favorite films in general?
Oh, well, my favorite bands: Fleetwood Mac, Led Zeppelin, from the old days, The Killers from today, My Chemical Romance. That's ones that spring immediately in mind. I really like Depeche Mode. Used to like Depeche Mode a lot. They were great. So that's bands I really like, you know. As a band in Scotland, you've probably never heard of, called Biffy Clyro, Biffyclyro. Check out Many of Horror, that track, at Tea in the Park Festival, 80,000 people. Check that out. So that's that. The films, my favourite films are all old films. Far from the Madding Crowd, which is a Thomas Hardy book made into a film. Billy Liar, which is a real old one with Albert Finney. It's brilliant. It's great. It's about this guy who's always wanting to leave town, always has these dreams but never actually leaves. It's a great film. The Killing Fields. I love The Killing Fields. I thought it was a great, very old film. And a film I must have watched 40 times at least, The Maltese Falcon. Humphrey Bogart. I mean, I just go for the class stuff, like, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest springs to mind, Jack Nicholson. So that's it on kind of the films, really. Yeah, but I mean, there's so many. Oh, of course, all the gangster stuff, The Godfather, Goodfellas, all that. I love it, I love all that stuff.
Well,
right,
Dave, thank you so much for taking the time to swim in the bowl with me.
Oh, lovely being in the bowl. Fantastic. We bowl you've got there. Lovely. Okay.
I'm definitely gonna shoot you a message. We'll keep in touch, and
please do that. Appreciate it. Okay.
I would love to have you on the show again anytime.
Top man, rocking, mate. You take care. I'll see you soon. Okay.
Definitely.
In the bowl.
Definitely.
In the bowl. Okay. See you, man.
See you.
Good
Thank
luck.
you so
Cheers.
much.
Bye.
Bye.